Welcome to my National Podcast. Let's get into it. All right. Welcome. What is today if it isn't a Hunting Adeline day? Okay, we have Hunting Adeline on deck for you guys. Today's Thursday's episode. We have chapters 31 and 32 for you lovely peoples. My goodness. Is Adeline becoming quite the badass, as we have seen. We fast forward a couple months, and she's done her training with the Sibby, and she's done training with Zaid, and now they're whooping ass. And Zaid finally got the guy that was touching his woman, and yeah, that man is no longer with us. He is gone now. So I'm excited to see where the book goes from here. But before we hop into the book, you know what we got for you? We got a juicy little thread for you. And today's thread is, what's something your partner wanted to try, but you refused immediately? All right, so let's see what crazy shit your partner wanted to try to do with you. An open relationship. Turned out she had started without me, Yo. Wow. Damn. Oh, that's gotta suck, bro. He said she started without me is crazy. Oh, all right. What's something your partner wanted to try and you said nope? My ex-partner wanted me to wear a Hulk Hogan mask. Hell no, brother. Why would you want your girl to wear a Hulk Hogan mask? What? He's just like, hey, babe, it would be great if, like, you just wore a Hulk Hogan mask, and, yeah, it would turn me on so much. Like, no. What? Like, you want to smash Hulk Hogan? Did you need to tell me something? Because that's a little, I'm being honest with you, man. All right, what's something your partner wanted you to try and you said nope? My ex wanted an open relationship. I said I wasn't cool with that. And he was like, okay, no worries, and did it anyway. Damn. Whoo! See, the other one, it was the girl that did it, but this one was the dude. He knew what he was doing. He had some coochie lined up. Look, if I'm being honest with you, if your partner ever asks for an open relationship, that just means they got somebody already lined up. And, they've been talking to somebody for a hot minute, and the other person that they want to smash knows that you exist, but they're like, hey, look. I'm going to, propose a little open relationship deal, and then we could do our thing, and then we'll be good. We'll be good. Yeah, man. Nah. It's always an L. What's something your partner wanted to try and you said nope? I want to be fucked by more guys at once, but then got jealous when said hello to receptionist. Wait.
What did he say?
You want to get gangbanged, yet when your man says hello to the receptionist, you get mad at that? Squeeze me? How does this make sense? I can't say hello to somebody, but you want to get 5 penises in you? Nah, man. I'd have been gone out of that relationship in that minute. I'd have been like, oh yeah? Yeah? Okay. Peace. Like, there's no way at all would I stay in a relationship like that. That's crazy. She said, I want to get gang raped, but you can't say hi to the receptionist. That's wild. Woo! What's something your partner wanted you to do and you said nope? My ex wanted me to shoot and kill her dad, yo.
Hey, yo, what the fuck?
That's crazy. That's crazy, bro. Man. Now, don't get me wrong. Your boy has dated some girls like that where they're just like, oh my God, I wish I could kill my ex so we could be together type shit. Yeah, nope. I'm like, skirt. No, I'm gone. Those chicks are bananas. No, thank you. Oh, Jesus. Yeah, I hope you ran. I really do. Because if I'm being honest with you, if you would have tried to break up with her, she probably would have killed you. And let's be honest here. What's something your partner wanted you to do and you said no? I dated a girl for a few years back when Twilight was a big thing. One day she tells me she wants to cut my chest to draw my blood and then drink it. I noped right on to Nopesville after that. Facts. What is going on here? You want to do what to my what and drink what? No. No. What? No. Please. I like my blood to stay where it is. Thank you very much. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. It's like those girls that they want a necklace of a vial of your blood. That's just, it's a lot. That's a lot. I appreciate the commitment, but that's a lot. You know what I mean? Like, goddamn. Like, if you really want to do that, wear a maid outfit and call me master. No, I'm just kidding. Oh, man. Am I telling on myself? Am I exposed. Oh! All right, what's something your partner wanted you to do and you said no? Feederism. He wanted me to gain 200 pounds. 200 pounds is crazy. You wanted her to die? Is that what you wanted? Because, bro, that's a lot of weight, my guy. 200 pounds is crazy. Especially if she's already like 100 something. Like, you want her to be 300 pounds? That's crazy. Wow, no. Look, I get it's a fetish and a kink or whatever you want to call it, but that's just unhealthy, man. Like, sheesh, man, no. What's something your partner wanted you to do and you said no? My worst ex had a weird thing for impregnation. He, more than once, proposed the idea of me going off my birth control for a month before ejaculating inside. Then, in his words, he actually said he wanted to see me get a positive result on a pregnancy test, telling me that he would have a Plan B pill ready for me after I tested positive. It wouldn't work after that. What do you mean? You understand Plan B is only work up to 72 hours. After 72 hours, they don't work anymore. She's got to get an abortion after that. Like, bro, that's not how that works. He didn't seem to understand that that's not how Plan B pills work. Facts. I could go on about this guy. Needless to say, he's no longer in my life and hasn't been for years now, thankfully. Yeah, because you know what he was trying to do? He was trying to baby trap you. And it's crazy because you don't think dudes do that. No, dudes do that shit. Especially dudes who get like a really beautiful girl by the skin of their teeth and they're just doing anything and everything to try to keep her. Yeah, they'll sit there and baby trap a girl, which is crazy. Because you think about it, you know, she gets pregnant, then she has a baby, and then she's like, oh my God, our little family. Oh, you know what I mean? And it's like, instead, why don't you know, be a fucking man. You know what I mean? Work hard. Take your girl out. Be good to her. It's not that hard, fellas. What are we doing here? And, you know, like, let's put some effort in. Let's put some work in. Like, and I get it. There's just some dudes that don't want to put the work in. You know, they're lazy sack of shits. But, hey, those are, yeah. Ladies, if a dude is like, yo, want to get you pregnant? Run. You know, unless that man has put a ring on the finger or, you know, you guys have been doing the shebang for a while, then okay, maybe, you know, maybe he's justified. But come on now. That's crazy. Yeah, no, he was trying to baby trap you. What's something your partner wanted you to do and you said no? I've had 3 separate women ask me to pee on them. That's crazy. That's, wow. Hey, man, I mean... Hey, man. Did you do it? I feel like he did it, and I ain't gonna lie to you. I feel like he did it. Anyway, because if I'm being straight with you, I probably would too. I'm in the mood, like, you know, and they probably all said it sexy and shit, and they're just like, oh, want you to pee on me. And you know what I mean? It's like there's no blood up here. There's no blood circulating through my brain. It's all down there. You know what I mean? Like, I'm gonna be like, yeah. Like, you gotta understand, man. When dudes are in the zone and there's no blood up here and it's all down there, and you know the little man is taking the reins, we're like zombies up here, you know, because all the motion is happening down there. We're just like, yeah, sure, yeah, I'll pee on you, yeah, I'll do it. Like, come on now, let's be straight. You know what I mean? And this is one of those things where it's like, if the guy finds her attractive enough, he's gonna do it. He gonna do it. Let's not kid ourselves here. You know what I mean? Let's not. I'm not even gonna cap to you people. I'd probably do it. What's something your partner wanted you to do and you said no? Injecting chocolate syrup into my bum and pushing it out onto his face for his edible poop fetish.
Hey, yo, what the fuck?
Are you what? So this man, he owns syringes. He was just like, hey, yo, I got this syringe full of chocolate, and I'm going to push it into your butthole, and then I'm going to lay down, and I'm going to open your cheeks, and you're just going to let the chocolate drip into my mouth, and it's like I'm eating poop. That's disgusting. That is absolutely disgusting.
Bruh.
Oh my God, that's disgusting. All right, man. I never heard of that, but hey, you know, this podcast, see, you learn something new every day, man. God damn. What's something your partner wanted you to do and you said no? Loaded gun to her head. She had a grape fetish and wanted to see me load a gun and point it at her and tell her to fuck me or die. Wow. Okay. She listens to Hunting Adeline. Jesus Christ. I guarantee you she's been fucked by a gun at least once or twice. She's like, yeah, I need me a Zayd type motherfucker. I need a nigga who's gonna stand over my shit and he's gonna force a pistol into my vagina. Like, yeah, I need that. I want him to grab a knife by the palm of his hands and watch the blood drip down his wrist like that. I need that. She's like, I need fucking thrill. I need that. Like, damn, girl, you're crazy. Like, shit. What's something your partner wanted you to do and you said no? I'm a very large man with lots of sexual trauma, mostly around being bound, beaten, and anal. Wait a minute. Okay. I'd love to know how you as a large man has gotten into these situations where you've been bound, beaten, and done in the booty cheeks. Yeah, like, huh? Partners know this. I'm basically vanilla forever because I enjoy it. I'm pretty okay at it and it doesn't cause flashbacks. After 6 years together, she says, I want to tie you up and peg you and fuck the trauma out of you. Then you tie me up and thank me. She spent 90% of our relationship drunk and was stone sober for that. Yeah, see how you must have been one of those dudes that your girl wanted to try some just crazy shit and you're just like, yeah, sure, okay, I'll do that. And then you did it and you're just like, oh my God, I'm questioning every single thing I've ever done in my entire life now. Like, bro, you got to draw the line. You know what I mean? Even if it's losing a partner, I'd be like, nope. And you cross that and she's like, oh, well then I'll leave you. Cool, bye. Bye-bye. Goodbye. I'm not about to, no, you're not about to tie me up and all that. Nah, I'll tie you up. That's hot, but I'm not. You're not gonna tie me up and then spread my booty cheeks. Nah, man, that ain't happening. And the fact that you're admitting taking it to the booty cheeks, hey man, you know, oh, may God rest your soul, brother. Just saying. All right, what's something your partner wanted you to do and you said no? I dated this guy briefly in a while. in a while back, who never seemed to like anything other than plain vanilla sex. One day, he says he wants to ask me about a fantasy he had. I was like, sure, go ahead. He said he wanted to put his Johnson in while it was soft and pee inside. I said, thank you for sharing that with me. I'm going to head out. Facts. What? Why? Huh? I swear, look, man, I didn't know that was a thing. I did not know that was a thing. I really didn't. I did not know that was a thing. I didn't know that people enjoy doing that or want to do that. Okay. All right. I mean, I'm glad you noped on out of there, girl, because that would have been a whole bunch of problems, especially for her. You know, I've always heard that, you know, the vagina is a very, you know, sensitive thing. Like anything can throw it off, and now they're dealing with a whole bunch of shit. That's crazy. I don't even know why he felt like she would be down for something like that. You know what I mean? But hey, all right. What's something your partner wanted you to do and you said no? Had an ex that kept insisting I punch her during sex. Told her best I could do was some light choking and slapping. She went around telling people I was a fake dom. So glad I don't deal with that anymore. So wait. You wanted me to beat your ass while I'm having sex with you? See, that right there, look, no, never. That invites way too much shit in there, because if there was anything to ever go wrong in that relationship, she could easily like call the cops or tell somebody that, yeah, he's been beating on me and stuff like that. And you can't say anything. She's got bruises on her face, or she's got bruises on her neck or whatever. You can't say nothing, you know. And I would hope that she's not that type of person where she would, you know, like use that against him, but she could. And it's like, bro, you got to protect yourself at that point. Yeah, nah, man. No, that's red flag like a motherfucker, man. Nah. No. What's something your partner wanted you to do and you said no? Try for a baby before high school graduation. Nope, right out of that. Whoa. Yeah, no. No, girl, you are crazy. She out here trying to be teen mom and shit. What are we doing? I wonder where she got that idea from. Who the fuck told her, hey, have a baby before you get out of high school? Like, who the fuck told you that? Man, yeah, see, now I'm like peace and chicken grease, because she's that type of girl where she's like, yeah, I'm on birth control, you're good. And then you nut up in there, and then she's over here talking about, I miss my period. Yeah, nah. Man. No. You have a kid in high school, it's just, no, thank you. No, you better have ran. What's something your partner wanted you to try and you said no? I jokingly called my wife Dommy Mommy last night during normal conversation. She is neither dominant nor likes to be called mommy. I don't think any woman likes to be called mommy. Like, you know what I mean? I don't think any woman likes to be called that. I know there are certain dudes that like to be called daddy, but I don't think there is any woman that likes to be called mommy. That is just weird. That is absolutely weird. I also am not interested in that sort of thing. I just thought it would be funny to say. Her reaction, a visceral physical change, and what the fuck? Don't ever call me that again. Yeah, because like I said, I don't think any girl wants to be called Dommy Mommy. Like, I just don't. I do not think that there are any women who actually enjoy that. Like, no. That's dead. No. All right, what's something your partner wanted you to do and you said no? I wear gauges. One guy wanted to fuck my piercing holes in my ears. Quickly became an ex. That's crazy. He said, hey, you ever done anything with those holes in your ear? That's wild. That is wild. Why? Some dudes just see holes and they're just like, yeah, I can fit my penis in that. Yeah, most definitely. And it's like, no. What are you doing? It's like, come on, man. What are you doing here? Oh, God. That's crazy. All right. What's something your partner wanted you to do and you said no? Pegging, no thanks. Also, she asked about cuckolding, but her watching and me being with another man. Oh, God, please note, I'm a guy and never expressed any interest in bisexuality. That is crazy. She said, okay, if you don't want me to fuck you, then how about, like, you just do it with another guy and then I'll just watch. And it's like, wait.
What did he say?
You want what? You want me to do what? Girl, you're insane. You're insane, woman. Get the fuck out of here. You goddamn harlot. Like, no, I am not about to. No, just no. Oh, that's crazy. What's something your partner wanted you to do and you said no? This was 2 exes ago, but sounding told her. Wait, what? What is sounding? Told her fuck no. What is sounding? Okay, we're gonna. What would sounding be? How would you even look that up? Because, okay, I was just gonna look it up, but I'm like, how would you look this up? How would you look up sounding? You know what I mean? Okay. Apparently, sounding is they are sounding rods that go into the urethra and you like tap them and then the vibration goes up the pole and into your penis hole. No. Absolutely not. No. Wow. I can't even believe that's a fucking thing. What? You're telling me there are people out in the world, well, I guess dudes out in the world, that are allowing a girl to stick a metal rod into their pee hole and then the girl like hits it or like flicks it or whatever and it like makes vibrations in. No. Wow. Woo, man. Yeah, bro. Whoo. Probably could have went my whole life without knowing that one. Thank God we're all going to be learning that together. Yeah, you and me, we're in this together. We learned that together. Yeah, we're traumatized together. This is trauma bonding right here. Goodness. All right. Hey, what's something your partner wanted you to do and you said no? Licking a toilet. I was deep in subspace and he was seeing how much he could make me do. Me having boundaries apparently undermined the whole experience for him. Really ruined BDSM for me. Why would BDSM go to licking toilets? And then why would he even be sexually turned on by you licking a toilet? What? I don't get that. How does that correlate? I guess it was like she said, he was just like, oh man, what deprived shit can I make her do? Because, you know, I can get her to do all this crazy shit during the BDSM shit. Bitch might lick a toilet for me. Like, no. I swear, man, some dudes, it's like a girl could be a freak with them, but there's some dudes where they just take it way too far. You know, they're given an inch and they just try to go that mile just because they feel like they can. And for me, I'm like, dude, enjoy the inch she's giving you. You know what I mean? Wear that out first before you go a mile. Because I guarantee you wear that out a little bit, she might have licked the toilet. You know, you never know. She could have licked the toilet. You know what I mean? She could have been bored. You guys could have done the BDSM thing to death. And then, you know, she's like, hey, let's spice it up. And the nigga gonna be like, hey, lick a toilet for me, baby. And she's like, oh, sure, why not? Again, bro, like, oh my God, this podcast just teaches me so much shit about how crazy people in general are. You know what I mean? This is just people in general. These are real people who have real things to share, and it's wild to me. I love it, but man, it's crazy. Oh my God. And I've only been doing this show for a year and a half, so it's like the amount of shit I've seen in a year and a half, and it makes me think, like, dude, you know, if like 3-4 years down the line, what crazy shit am I going to experience by then? Jeez. What's something your partner wanted you to do and you said no? I had a girlfriend I loved dearingly in my mid-30s. She wanted me to choke her, get rough, slapping, etc. during intercourse. Damn, I had such a trauma-filled upbringing with violence and stress, it just shut me down. Matter of fact, shit gave me anxiety and PTSD. The relationship unraveled quickly after that, and I'm not gonna lie, I still blame myself. I sort of feel like I should have had an open mind, but yeah, I just couldn't get past the notion that I was abusing her. I still miss her. Turns out that I was the broken one. I mean, look, man, I get it, because sometimes, like, when it comes to that, you don't, especially when you love a girl, you don't want to hurt her. You know what I mean? You want to protect her, and you want to, like, you know, that's my baby. You know what I mean? And so it's like, when they want that kind of stuff, it's hard to do it. I'm sure I can guarantee you some guys, if it's easy for a guy to beat on you and stuff like that, you know, even if it's like during the confinements of sex and stuff, that nigga don't care about you. I'm gonna be straight. I mean, I'm gonna be straight with you. Like if he is comfortable with that shit and he can just do it, he don't love you. Yeah, he don't. He just don't. He looks at it like, yeah, I'm with this girl because the sex is good. And that's really it. And once this, you know, sex stuff for me gets old, then I'm up out this camp. And that's just how it seems. Because, like, I'm not going to sit here and say a real man, but a guy that actually loves and cares about you, it's going to be hard for him to want to do that. Will he do it to please you? Sure. But it's going to be hard for him to do it, is my point. And if it's hard for him to do it, then obviously, yeah, okay. He love you. But if it's easy for this nigga to do it, nah, he don't love you. He's like, oh yeah, I've been waiting to hit you. Oh man. Yeah, that's just how I feel about it, if anything. So, what's something your partner wanted you to try and you said no? Skiing, hear me out. I have one good arm. I have no desire to tempt fate any further than I already have. Yeah, see, bro. My man was like, hey, look, I got a bum arm, baby. I can't do this. I get it. You want to be skiing down the mountain with your boy, but I got a bum arm and I can't do it. And it just is what it is. Yeah, I mean, she was probably just like, all right, man, well, I'm going to have to break up with you and your bum arm because man, I can't be skiing out here with a man with a bum arm. I'm sorry. Yeah, I need a boyfriend that's got two good arms, not a man with one arm and a bum arm. You know, I can see why that relationship didn't work out. You know what I mean? It just is what it is. It is what it is. All right. What's something your partner wanted you to try and you said no? Vehicle manslaughter. She was indeed a wild one. And then when I said not until marriage, she tried to kill me with her car. Yo, what? That's crazy. She was just like, yo, babe, you know what would get me so going right now is if you fucking run people over with your car. And it's just like,
Hey, yo, what the fuck?
huh? You want me to what now? With my... Nah, bro. Woo! You know what I mean? I think there are some women out there that they feel like a dude will do anything for them. You know what I mean? They feel like a dude would just do anything for them. They're like, yeah, my man will fucking do anything for me. He will kill a child for me. You know? Like I am thoroughly convinced that some women think that a dude will just do anything for them. You know what I mean? He's like, yeah, he'll let me peg him. Yeah, he'll let me, or you know, he'll kill my dad for me. Or yeah, he'll fucking he'll run people over with his car for me. Like, yo, come on, man. At least the previous girl just wanted you to go skiing. You know, like, that's great. That's fantastic. My man's just got a bum arm. That's all. But Jesus, whoo, like, you want me to commit a crime? Like, you know how much jail time vehicle manslaughter is? Like, come on, girl. That's 20 years minimum. What are we talking about here? That's manslaughter. That's 20 years minimum. And then don't get me wrong, or don't even get me started if the person dies. If the person dies, oh, then you're looking at least life. You're looking at 40 years to maybe life. Like, come on, dude. What do we do? No. Jesus Christ. Oh, God, Jesus Christ on a motorbike. This is just absolutely insane. But that's going to go ahead and be the end of that thread, man, because I don't think I can handle any more of this fucking thread. This thread was wild. Absolutely wild. Hope you guys enjoyed that thread. If you got some crazy shit that your partner has ever wanted you to do and you said, hell nah, let me know down in the comments. I'd love to hear it and love to see it, okay? So definitely get on down in there. We're going to hop into announcements really quick. I do have some extra announcements to make that I've been making for the past 2 shows. So I made these announcements on Friday as well as on the Tuesday show. But sometimes you guys skip, those shows and you go straight to this one. So I'll make the announcements here. We do have a new schedule going on throughout the week for the podcast. A lot has changed and a lot will stay the same. Okay. So on Tuesday, Thursday, 6 a.m., you guys are always going to get an episode. So Tuesday's episode is a thread and confession time, as well as you guys' scenarios. And then Thursday is always the thread and whatever book it is we're going over at the time. Those episodes will always go up Tuesday, Thursday, 6 a.m. All right? Tuesday, Thursday, 6 a.m. Nothing's changing there. Then Patreon. If you are a Patreon member, please get on there, patreon.com/Am I the Asshole podcast. $3 a month gets you an exclusive episode every single Friday, as well as being able to send in your confession time and your scenario to be featured on the show. That will go up at 5 p.m. every Friday. So every Friday, 5 p.m. is when Patreon episodes will go up. All right? Cool. You with me so far? Sunday episodes. We do Sunday episodes every other week. And those episodes will be going up at 5 p.m. All right? Those episodes will go up at 5 p.m. every Sunday, or every other Sunday, 5 p.m. So if you are a bit of an avid watcher or avid listener and you do listen or watch the episodes the day they come out, that is when the Sunday episodes will come out. A lot of people tend to listen to or watch the Sunday episodes on Monday, and so that's cool. I have no problem with that. I understand Sunday, people are either going to church, they're hanging out with friends, they're going out to concerts, whatever the case may be. You guys got stuff to do, so that's why I set it to release very late, so that way people can catch it when they get home, catch it tomorrow morning, whatever the case may be. It's there waiting for you guys. Then every Monday we are going to be live streaming. All right. So every Monday we're going to be live streaming at 5 p.m. Right here is my handles for Kick and Twitch. If you enjoy Kick or Twitch, those are my handles down there. They will also be at the bottom of the description, so you guys can go there and check that out as well. I will be live on TikTok and YouTube. So if you want to, catch there, say you don't like Kick or you don't like Twitch, that's totally fine. You guys can catch me on YouTube and TikTok. All right. So yeah, there's going to be a good little change. That's going to be the schedule though, starting 2025, man. I just want to give you guys more content, give you guys more of a schedule and structured release of content. So that way things kind of stay the same and there are new things that we're adding, but I wanted to be able to structure everything so that way you guys know when the content is coming out and you can enjoy it when you want to enjoy it. You just obviously cognitively know when it comes out. That's all. So I appreciate that so much. Audio listeners, keep downloading the show as well as rating us 5 stars. Helps out a lot. It's awesome, all the support you guys have been showing. If I'm being honest with you, when I see the numbers go up, it makes me happy because it just lets me know that you guys are coming back every single week to enjoy the episodes. And I appreciate that. I really, really do. And it's free, baby. It's absolutely free. It don't cost a damn thing. Love don't cost a thing. And I appreciate it, all right? And if you want to help even more on the free 99 side of things, follow us on TikTok, Instagram, as well as YouTube. TikTok has been blowing up. We're over 10K there. Instagram has been blowing up over 10K there. YouTube has been blowing up over, what is it, like 1.6 right now? We're at 1.6K. And so, we're moving and grooving, and I appreciate all the support that you guys have been showing over this year and a half, and I really appreciate that so very much. But without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and get you guys set up here on Haunting Adeline, all right? So, we're on chapters 31 and 32, okay?
Chapter 31. The Diamond. I fucking hate turbulence. Just as I begin to swipe my red lipstick on my lips, the plane rumbles and crimson is now on my goddamn cheek. Huffing, I grab a baby wipe from my carry-on bag and swipe it off. Xavier flew into LA last night, so we're on Zaid's private jet and about halfway there. We have intel that he'll be attending an exclusive underground club tonight, so looking expensive is required. I'm anxious about seeing Xavier again, so I decided to occupy my time by getting ready during the flight, rather than drowning in the anxiety and sweating off my makeup. Makes me wonder if Xavier has ever felt that way. His arrogance is a testament to how stupid he is. He's gone several months without hearing from Z, and he thinks he's safe enough to come out of hiding for a weekend. Honestly, I find it fitting. If he thought he could buy me and keep me as his personal sex slave without Zaid finding him, surely he'd be confident enough to walk into a club and think he'll come back out on his own free will. The club he'll be frequenting is geared towards those with dark desires. According to Zaid's research, all the women are there of their own free will, which will allow us to focus solely on Xavier. That is nothing short of a blessing. It would be that much harder for the both of us to walk into a place where women are being trafficked or abused and not to take the entire building down. And honestly, I would be worried for Zaid if that were the case. He has positively burnt down the world to find me, and he hasn't stopped since. He tracked down Rocco's friends and several of the guests who attended the culling and sent them all 6 feet under. Well, technically they're dust in the wind now. Between training and keeping watch over me, to hunting down Claire, Xavier, my captors, and anyone that stepped foot in that house, I don't know how he has any headspace left to think. He tried to take down a few more auctions, too, but I drew the line there and demanded he brings in his other mercenaries to take his place in the meantime. It didn't take much to convince him, which only proved how exhausted he was. He's a machine, and lately I've been having to coerce him with make-out sessions to get him to relax. The asshole succeeded in getting me addicted to his lips since the car chase, and I can't even be mad when it's the only thing that seems to keep either of us sane.
You look beautiful,
a deep, baritone voice says from behind me. I turn to find Zaid, leaning against the doorframe to the mini-suite, staring at me like I'm a glass of the finest whiskey, and he would kill for just a sip. Thank you, I murmur, swiping my hands nervously over my dress. It's a blood-red strapless number, cut below the curve of my ass on one side, and then dramatically tapers down, the silk flowing to my ankle on the other. It reminds me of the dress I wore when he took me to Mark's estate last year. Pretty sure I'll never look at a red dress and not think of what he did to me in that movie theater. Especially now when he's prowling towards me with my black and purple blade and a strap in his hand, accompanied by a devilish glint in his eyes. I'm wearing 5-inch black heels, yet still I feel like a little girl standing next to Zaid. He has to be pushing 6'6".
Don't forget these,
he says, holding up the knife and lacy strap.
You're not going unprotected.
Wouldn't dream of it, I murmur, enraptured by him. My heart clogs in my throat when he lowers himself before me. What are you doing? I breathe, watching his long fingers reach out and grab my ankle. His touch feels electric, my leg twitching from the feel of his skin slowly grazing my skin. I hold my breath, my heart speeding as his hand disappears beneath the silk and travels farther up.
Placing the crown on my queen.
He croons. What do you mean? I mumble distractedly, shivering from the electric currents traveling up my leg.
A crown symbolizes power. That's what this knife is for you.
I'm trembling, and liquid heat is pooling low in my stomach. Something I'm still getting used to feeling again whenever Zayd is brave enough to touch me. He's grown more daring the past month, brushing up against me any chance he gets and taking advantage of any excuse to touch me, his fingers always lingering longer than necessary. At night, when I'm lost in a nightmare, I let him hold me for a little while, feeling safer with him than I do in my own skin. Sometimes in those moments, he'll place soft kisses along my jaw, never pushing it too far, but familiarizing me with the feel of his affection. More and more, I crave it and seek it out, and lately I've begun to feel like it's not enough, like I need more. Sensing my growing arousal, he turns his head and places a soft kiss on my knee, peeking up at me through thick, black lashes. My teeth trap my bottom lip between them, and his eyes blaze in return. Dropping his burning stare, he brushes the material of my dress to the side, both legs now bared. I decided to forego panties with this dress, the silk too thin to conceal panty lines. If he lifted the material another inch, he'd be able to see between my thighs. His nostrils flare, and I feel my face grow hot, flushing hotter when he leans in closer. I can smell you. Something he said to me so long ago when he told me to run and hide in Parsons Manor, promising a punishment if he found me. I have a feeling he can smell me now, and just how much my body weeps for him.
Lift your leg, baby.
He orders roughly, voice hoarse with desire. I listen, watching him loop the lacy strap around my foot and raise it to my upper thigh, his knuckles coming dangerously close to my center.
Do you remember how to use this?
He asks, flipping the blade in his deft fingers. For the life of me, I can't fathom why that was one of the hottest things I've ever seen him do. Uh-huh, I squeak. It takes effort to drag my eyes away from the twirling blade to meet his gaze. There's a hint of challenge swirling in his mismatched pools, and I feel myself rising to meet it. Do you know how to use it? I'll never know why I instigate him, even when wariness lingers behind the cloud of lust. The smirk that curls his lips is wicked, causing my body to flush. I'm overheating, and he's hardly touched me. I'm not sure what he intends to do, but that look on his face tells me it's going to be something nefarious. You can't cut me with it, I say seriously. For a moment, I see a flash of rage in his eyes, gone before the fire can spread, and I know he knows the reasoning behind my request. There have been several nights where I confessed the things that had been done to me in that house, including Xavier's kink with slicing me open while he raped me. For a moment, I panic, fearing he'll stop at the reminder that other men have used my body. Tensing, I wait for the disgust. I wouldn't blame him if he was repulsed by me, but it'd tear my heart out anyway. Instead, he flips the blade until he's gripping the sharp edge in his hand. Then he slides the handle against my thigh, gentle and teasing. The fear begins to dissipate, relief soaking my bones. But even that quickly fades when the handle caresses my pussy, just a whisper of a touch. Now I feel nothing but anticipation and that lingering wariness. Turbulence rocks the plane again, a physical representation of how my heart feels.
Did you know that reclaiming something that was stolen from you can help with trauma?
He asks. Yes, I murmur.
And if something hurt you before, giving it a new meaning can help.
His eyes lift, focusing on me intently.
Do you want me to show you a new meaning to this knife?
I hesitate, but then nod my head. A different kind of fear is seizing my body, the kind that I've always been attracted to, and I've missed it so much.
Pull up your dress.
He demands roughly, his voice deep and raspy. Quickly, I do as he says, bunching the material up just high enough to bear the apex of my thighs. His nostrils flare, and he clenches his jaw briefly before ordering.
Now wrap your hand around mine.
Furrowing my brows, I do as he says, grabbing a hold of his hand that's curled tightly around the blade.
Wouldn't want to cut up those pretty hands of yours, so you're going to guide me.
I shake my head, feeling myself start to retreat.
I won't touch you.
He promises.
You're in control, little mouse. I'm only here to protect your hand. Instead of allowing this knife to cause you pain, use it to give yourself pleasure instead.
My throat constricts, and I have the strongest urge to run away. But that feeling is what keeps me still. I don't want Xavier to win, to haunt my life so terribly that an inanimate object has the power to control me. Nodding my head, I guide his hand up, my breath hitching when the handle slides along my slit. Zaid watches my movements closely, his teeth clenched and the muscle in his jaw pulsating. Blood begins to trickle down his wrist, and for reasons I can't explain, I squeeze his hand tighter, eliciting more trails of blood. He growls deep in his chest, but doesn't stop me. I bite my lip, a whimper breaking free when I slowly insert it inside of me, my legs trembling. Normally, I don't think I could ever get enjoyment out of fucking myself with a knife handle, but using Zaid's hand to do it adds a layer of pleasure I wouldn't be able to find on my own. Seeing his blood drip from our hands instead of my own, it does something to me that I can't explain. My breath escalates when I slide the handle inside me to the hilt, Zaid's fingers pressed up against my flesh. A groan rumbles deep in his chest, but he keeps his promise, his hand not even twitching against me.
Tell me how it feels.
He rasps, enthralled by the sight of me tugging our hands down just to drive it back up, eliciting a sharp jolt of bliss. So good. I breathe around a moan, my eyes fluttering as I continue, finding a pace that threatens to make me forget my own name.
Go slower.
He urges, his hand flexing beneath mine. I force myself to listen, keeping the pace gradual and drawing out the pleasure.
Now watch yourself. Look how pretty you are when you fuck yourself.
Mouth parted and chest heaving, I look down between my slick thighs, the euphoria heightening from the sight.
See how you're dripping all over our hands, baby?
Both of our hands are covered in his blood, my arousal mixing in and carving paths through the crimson staining our skin. My stomach tightens, an orgasm building low in my stomach. Yes, I moan.
You know what I see? I can see how tightly your pussy is clenching the knife.
He growls, face strained with need.
Like it's just begging to be filled.
Do you wish it was your cock instead? I pant, enjoying the way his eyes flare. Absolutely loving that he can only dream of fucking me, forced to watch a knife handle do it instead. A rush of power flows through me, and I can't contain the smile. His eyes lift to mine, something dangerous whirling in his irises. My stomach clenches, the orgasm cresting higher. But I don't fear him. I pity him. Does it hurt, knowing that you can't touch me? I ask, another moan slipping free when I hit that spot inside me. Does it cut deeper than this knife?
Yes.
He confesses, his tone low and dark. You can't have it, I taunt. He eyes me closely, understanding what I'm doing and not liking it, yet he'll never disobey me, knowing that the trust I've placed on him will be shattered. Giving respect hurts like a bitch when your hands are tied. I drive the knife deeper and faster, reaching that peak, and I decide that giving him a small taste will deepen the agony. All I need is a little nudge, but this time I'm not the one that will be begging him to let me come. He will be begging me. Do you want to lick me, Zaid? I ask, eyes threatening to cross. I'm so ready to come. He drops his gaze to our hands, baring his teeth from the restraint.
Yes.
He chokes out. Say please. A flick of his dangerous gaze and savage curl to his lips that promise retribution, but he doesn't hesitate.
Please, little mouse.
One lick. I allow. Make it count. Giving me one last weighted look, he leans forward and I shiver when I feel his hot breath fan over my core. And then his tongue is sliding against my clit, slow and firm. He groans around me, and I can no longer hold on. I shatter around him, crying out as my world breaks apart. My free hand flies into his hair, grasping for something to hold on to as my knees buckle. He quickly stands, catching me and holding me up against him, our hands pressed tightly against my pussy as I ride out the waves. I press my forehead into his chest, squeezing my eyes shut as the remnants of the orgasm slowly fade. Both hands cup my face before sliding into my locks, pulling my head back and nudging his mouth against my cheek.
Give me them,
He demands sharply. With aftershocks still attacking my nerves, I let him in, turning my mouth towards his. His lips capture mine immediately, and it rivals the pleasure radiating between my thighs. He kisses me deeply, drawing out a small, husky moan before pulling away, only to brush his lips across my ear. Surprise renders me still when he reaches into his pocket, pulls out a rose, and slips it behind my ear.
One day you're going to feel safe with me again,
He whispers, his voice dangerously soft.
and when that day comes, you better pray I'm feeling generous.
The second I walk into the club, supple, it feels like a sinister entity reaches out and wraps itself around me. A black-studded half-mask rests over my eyes, concealing the upper half of my face. While they're not required in this club, more attendees wear them than not, preferring to keep their identities anonymous, which translates to keeping their reputations intact. A heavy bass vibrates the black and gold marble that stretches across the main floor, with 2 bars on either side, and a stage straight ahead with seating surrounding it. Instead of the typical club bangers, slow and heavy music plays. The woman on stage performing a sensual dance to the heavy beat. She's wearing a black bra and panty set with a diamond-encrusted mesh dress over top of it. A red mask covers her face, dark hair spilling out from around it in waves. For several moments, I'm entranced. Her lithe curves roll and move to the music with perfect precision, drawing onlookers in like moths to a roaring flame. She keeps her clothes on, but she doesn't even need to undress in order to perform the sexiest dance I have ever witnessed.
Focus, baby.
Zaid whispers from the Bluetooth in my ear. His voice is deep and lined with gravel, sending a shiver down my spine, most likely from watching me watch her. He's hacked into the cameras in every corner of the room, and even through grainy footage, he must have seen how enraptured I was. I feel my cheeks flush, spreading down to the pit of my belly. This place is already sinking its claws into me, and I've barely made it past the front door. She's a good dancer, I defend, refusing to be embarrassed over appreciating another woman's beauty.
Didn't notice.
He replies. Oddly, I believe him, and something about that deepens the heat swirling in my stomach. Several people line the bar stools, though the room is far from crowded. I spot an empty seat in the middle of the left bar, so I beeline for it. I need a drink before I make my way downstairs, where all the real debauchery takes place, according to Zaid. The bartender is a young man wearing a suit and bow tie with a sleek black vest. His glossy black hair is slicked back, and only a thin mustache covers his upper lip. He reminds me of what Edgar Allan Poe would have looked like in his younger years.
What can I get for you, miss?
He asks politely, his dark eyes pinned to mine. A martini, please, I answer. He's sliding over my drink a couple of minutes later, accepting my cash with a pleasant smile. Thankfully, he doesn't try to engage in small talk and focuses on his bar and the other patrons. I subtly glance around while I sip my martini, the burn of the alcohol sliding down my throat, soothing to my nerves. I can't help but feel like I'm being watched, though I suppose that's the purpose of this place. Apparently, voyeurism and exhibitionism are a given here. There's only so many places to go for privacy, and most patrons don't bother with it. It's not exactly uncomfortable as it is unnerving, fun, and it makes me wonder what the women on stage must feel, with so many sets of eyes tracing her every curve. Does it make her feel good? Or does she tune out the weight of people's stares and lose herself in the music? Finishing off my drink, I slide the glass away and slip off the stool before I'm tempted to order another. As much as I'd like to succumb to the pleasant buzz a few drinks bring, I want to have all my wits when dealing with Xavier. I prepared myself to see him again as much as I'm capable of in such a short amount of time, but I'm not delusional enough to believe that he's not going to rip open old wounds in a matter of seconds. But I'm stronger than I was, and I will never bleed for him again. Once I make my way downstairs, Zaid will follow soon after. While he trusts me to handle myself, he still refuses to leave me on my own. I can't deny that his presence brings me strength, and when facing one of my abusers, I'll take as much as I can get. Releasing a slow exhale, I find the curtain that leads downstairs, where men and women come and go. Ducking my head, I follow behind a couple, their hands roaming all over each other with every step. The smell of sex permeates the air when I emerge from another curtained entryway. Down here, a significant number of bodies occupy the space. At least half of them is in a state of undress. Several women bare their breasts for others to touch and kiss. A few men have their hands up dresses or deep inside another man's trousers. Nothing is off limits down here, and I have to remind myself that this is consensual. This isn't like when me and the other girls were punished together, a room full of naked bodies, but several of us unwilling. For a moment, I stop to take it all in. Familiarize myself with sex that creeps along the edge of innately wicked, yet brings nothing short of pleasure and desire, for everyone involved. Truthfully, I'm envious. I miss the freedom of sex and my comfort with it. Even when a dangerous, imposing man forced it on me, my body still crowed for it more. Even if my head screamed otherwise. Now the thought of it feels like taking a strong drug and getting too high. It's a nerve-wracking feeling because control is unattainable, and it becomes a constant battle of talking yourself down from panicking. Forcing my shoulders to ease, I glance around the room, looking for anyone who resembles Xavier. Most are wearing half masks, leaving their mouths uncovered for purposes. Heart pounding, I weave through the bodies, searching for him and coming up empty. It isn't until 15 minutes later that Zaid directs.
Found him. He's down the hallway in the viewing rooms.
I spot the hallway to my left, swallowing when I find how dark and uninviting it looks. Holding my breath, I sidle past writhing bodies, ducking away from a few wandering hands. My heart hammers in my chest when I enter the hallway. Neon red lights line the ceiling on either side, illuminating the space in the color that represents debauchery. It reminds me of a haunted house in a way, but instead of screams of terror, it's screams of pleasure.
You can do this, Addie.
Zaid encourages, voice soft. He must be able to hear my heavy breathing. Perspiration coats my forehead and the back of my neck as I walk into a room I would have thought I'd only see in movies. There are 3 massive glass windows in each wall surrounding me. Behind each window is a room, a couple in various stages of sex. Straight ahead, a woman is on all fours while a man stands behind her and whips her ass with a cane. The couple to my left is trading oral sex. The man stands with the woman in his arms flipped upside down. I cock my head, a little curious how hard that would be to do. To my right, the woman is chained to the bed, writhing as a man in a leather suit whips her. There must be speakers in the rooms because their moans are just as loud as they would be if I were standing next to them. Several voyeurs stand both in and outside the rooms, watching the couples while subtly touching themselves or the person next to them. I shift apprehensively, beginning to feel way out of my element.
Incoming, baby.
Zaid warns, but I hardly hear him. I'm so hypnotized by what's happening in front of me that I don't notice the person approaching. Not until their voice is in my ear.
Which one intrigues you the most?
I startle, unable to contain the gasp. My heart pounds in my chest and my stomach flutters from the fright. I'd recognize his voice anywhere. I hear it so often in my nightmares, I fear I'll never forget it. Xavier stands next to me, hands casually in his pockets as he watches on. Half of his face is covered by a black mask with a silver diamond painted over one eye.
Terribly sorry to scare you,
he murmurs, the smirk on his face indicating he's not sorry at all. He doesn't recognize me yet. I'm wearing a dark brown wig to help conceal my identity, but I imagine he'll figure out who I am the moment he hears me speak. My huskier voice has always been easily identifiable. Xavier's presence is suffocating, and it takes several more seconds to drag my gaze away, fighting to wrestle my heart back down. Swallowing nervously, I face the couple straight ahead where the man is now fucking the woman from behind. Bright red welts across her ass and thighs. Her hands are cuffed behind her back while the man uses her locked hands as an anchor. Her screams are high-pitched and sharp with pleasure, and once more, I feel a stab of envy.
Too shy?
He prompts, rolling my red-stained lips. I nod, hoping that'll satisfy him. Don't be shy, Diamond. Let me see how good you suck cock. I squeeze my eyes shut, tilting my face away so he doesn't see how hard I have to fight to pull myself together.
I'm right behind you, baby.
Zaid whispers. I don't turn to look, but I feel him anyway. He's a force far stronger than the man standing next to me. Instantly, I relax. Zaid may be Hades, but the dark god has never been known to bow for anyone but his woman. It gives me a small dose of power, enough to reignite my confidence. Xavier can't hurt me anymore. He can't touch me, cut me, or use me. He's a pitiful soul posing as a powerful being. Soon, I will remind him that he is only a man, and I am the Reaper forged beneath his own hands.
I can help relax you if you'd like.
Xavier suggests from beside me, his voice deepening.
There are private rooms to your left.
Okay, I agree quietly. He grabs my hand, the touch of his skin sending a cold chill throughout my body. I'd forgotten how dead he feels. He pulls me toward a double set of doors in the corner of the room. Subtly, I glance back to Zaid, finding him in a full face mask. All black, with geometric points, a dramatic frown, and a slash through the eye. His yin-yang eyes are hidden, only bottomless pits where they should be. Admittedly, he looks terrifying, and I'd be lying if I said that didn't spark something low in my stomach, sinking between my thighs. Turning away, I focus as Xavier leads us into a hallway full of black doors. It's deathly silent in here.
Soundproof rooms.
Xavier supplies, glancing back at me with a wicked smirk on his face. I bite my lip, my nerves running wild as he walks us into a private room. The white walls are tinted blue from the LED lights surrounding the ceiling. A single black bed sits in the middle with handcuffs on the headboard and footboard. And a dresser is next to it, likely filled with different kinds of toys. Should I be worried that these rooms are soundproof, Xavier? I ask, no longer concerned with him recognizing my voice. He slowly turns his head to me, his blue eyes widened with surprise. Even beneath the mask, he can't hide his reaction.
I see my diamond has come back to me.
He drawls, his lips curling into a smile. His eyes drop to my body, taking his time as he slowly takes me in, pausing on the rose tattoo on my forearm.
My God, you look fantastic. Must be why I didn't immediately recognize you.
His eyes kick up to my hair.
And your hair is darker. Can't say I'm a fan of that.
Truly, I'm hurt. I respond dryly. Anger flashes across his irises. That reaction makes the smile impossible to contain. He nods his head, seemingly to himself.
I suspect you've come back to kill me.
I cock my head. You think I could? I query, though I'm not the least bit interested in his approval. He laughs, tipping his head back and exposing his throat. One slash to the jugular. That's all I'd need. But I don't want to kill Xavier. Not tonight, I don't. His laugh tapers, and if I were breathing any louder, I wouldn't have heard the subtle click from behind me. I turn, my heart dropping when I tug on the handle, finding that he locked the door. Which means it's automated.
I'm good friends with the owner here.
Xavier explains darkly.
If we want a little extra time with the girls, then they're willing to give. We have means to get them to stay a little longer.
I face Xavier again, noting his hand in his pocket. He must have some type of button in there to engage the locks. My pulse is hammering, but I force my chin high, exuding a confidence I'm having trouble feeling. This was not something Zaid or I was aware of. One of the biggest rules in this club is no locks to offer security and comfort to the women. Seems the owner is a slimy bastard and knows how to hide it. Makes me wonder how many women have gotten trapped in these rooms and how they were kept silent. The reputation of supple is impeccable, which means their scare tactics are effective. You locked the doors. I say aloud, so Zaid can hear me.
The fuck did you just say, baby?
His voice comes in a second later, and I just know he's rushing toward my door. In order to protect the privacy of those who use private rooms, they don't allow cameras in here. And surprisingly, there's not even a shady camera hidden in the room like Zaid would have thought. Which means, now that I'm locked in here, he won't be able to see a damn thing that happens. Adrenaline pumps into my system and dread pools in my gut. I may be stronger than I was, but that doesn't mean that PTSD doesn't have me by the throat still. Trauma isn't something that just poofs away. I've been improving, but it's a work in progress, and I have a sick feeling Xavier will roundhouse kick me back into that dark place it took me weeks to crawl out of. He's the boogeyman in my nightmares, the face I can't get out of my head. The things he put me through were far worse than any of the things Rocco and his friends did to me. What he did to me was fucking personal. I wasn't just another body being passed around from man to man. I was a possession that he took his sweet time with. He drew out my suffering for as long as he could, and those are the moments that haunt me most. I pleaded for a death he'd never grant me, giving him power over a life that was never his to take. But I refuse to cower now. I refuse to give him any control over me ever again. Tonight, I'm going to take back that power and make him wish he'd just stuck the knife in my fucking throat. The doorknob wiggles behind me, attracting Xavier's attention. I seize the opportunity and drive my fist directly into his nose in a snap movement. His head knocks back, eyes bulging with surprise. Before he can recover, I'm lunging at him, landing another punch to his stomach and then to his temple. He roars, his arm whipping out and catching me on the side of my head, the gold ring on his finger slicing across my cheek. Blood pours from his nose as he tackles me, a snarl on his face. We land against the door harshly, knocking the breath from my lungs. He then grips me by the biceps and throws me with all his strength, pure rage on his face. I fly to the ground, crying out as I land awkwardly on my shoulder, my temple knocking on the tile floor. Stars explode in my vision, drowning out Zaid's now panicked voice in my ear. He'll have Jay working to unlock the doors, and it won't take him long to figure out how, but all Xavier needs is a second to kill me. Through blurred vision, I see Xavier's fist fly towards my face. Instinctively, I roll out of the way, causing his hand to bound off the hard floor. He shouts, shaking out his hand to rid himself of the pain. Gritting my teeth, I kick out my leg, but he manages to catch me by the ankle and drags me towards him. His face is contorted with animalistic fury. Blood pours from his broken nose, leaking into the cracks of his bared teeth. I struggle against him, kicking my leg with all my might, managing to dislodge his hand long enough to drive my foot into his face. He turns just in time, my heel only clipping his temple.
Fucking bitch!
He snarls, grabbing at my legs again and climbing on top of me. I thrash violently, only assisting him in rolling me to my stomach and pinning my hands to my sides with his knees. He tears at my dress, and for a moment I lose control and descend into panic. A scream rips from my throat as he lifts my dress up past my ass. No matter how hard I fight, he only squeezes me tighter between his thighs, and my efforts are useless. The clang of his buckle is what snaps me out of it. I'll be damned if this fucker ever puts his dick anywhere near me again. Panting heavily, I stop moving and lie my face onto the cool tile. He chuckles, believing I've given up just like every other time. I used to lie there and just take it, knowing that fighting would only make it worse.
There you go, Diamond. That's a good.
Growling, I buck against him, catching him off guard and causing him to pitch forward. And then I rear my head back, bashing it directly into his nose. He lets out an agonized wail, his grip on me loosening. Twisting, I drive my fist directly into his trachea. His eyes nearly pop out of their sockets, his cries depleting as he struggles for oxygen. Right at that moment, the door bashes open, the sound thunderous. Zaid strides in, the fury on his face so potent that all his distinguishable features get lost in it. "Zaid, don't kill him!" I shout, a different kind of panic sprouting when he grabs Xavier by the back of his blazer and lifts him like he's holding up a goddamn cat by the scruff of its neck. He grips him tight enough that it reopens the cut on his hand, his blood beginning to trail down his wrist. "Zaid!" I shout, scrambling towards them when I see him slide his gun from the back of his pants, a silencer already screwed on. He doesn't hear me. So I do the only thing I can think of and grab the barrel of his gun, twisting it towards me. His head snaps to me, his eyes wide with a mixture of rage and disbelief. Don't kill him. Breathing heavily, he growls and yanks the gun from my grip, shoving it back into his pants. He punches the side of Xavier's head, knocking him out cold. Despite that he is now dead weight in Zaid's hand, he still holds him up like he's as light as a feather. He's too busy getting in my face, baring his teeth.
You ever do that again, little mouse, I will bend you over my knee and use that barrel in your tight little ass. You understand me?
I grimace and nod my head, realizing now how close he came to shooting me. Even if it were my fault, he would have never forgiven himself.
Slap me, punch me, kick me in the goddamn balls, but do not point my gun at yourself.
I nod my head again. Reality is starting to catch up to me now that I'm no longer under attack. Zaid's voice becomes a distant whisper, and I grapple with the tunnel vision, slowly narrowing my sight. My system is crashing, and I struggle to hold on to my sanity. Xavier tried to rape me. He came close to succeeding.
Spread those legs, Diamond. You're so pink, I can't wait to turn it red with blood.
Jay must say something to Zaid because he quickly drops Xavier, his head hitting the tile with a fleshy smack, and slides his mask back over his face. Security comes barreling into the room a moment later, distracting him before he can see just how panicked I am. 2 men wearing 3-piece suits are pointing their guns right at us.
Drop your weapons!
One of them shouts. Zaid raises his hands and mine go up on instinct as well.
No need to shout, gentlemen. I was simply saving my girl from getting assaulted by this man right here.
The 2 guards glance down at an unconscious Xavier, but they don't seem inclined to drop their weapons.
Is that Xavier Delano?
One of them asks, trying to get a good look at him.
No.
Zaid lies. Xavier's face is still covered, but if he's been coming here often enough, he might be recognizable by his hair or stature. Sometimes something as simple as their hands can be easily identified if you know them well enough. I know I could recognize those hands from a mile away. The guards shuffle deeper into the room, attempting to get a better view of Xavier. My heart pounds so heavily that my chest aches and my vision is blackening. I'm spiraling, and the knowledge that it could get me shot isn't enough to set me straight. Please, I whisper. He was trying to hurt me. The guards look at each other and slowly lower their guns, appearing slightly concerned by my garbled words. It won't matter in the end. Xavier is too important, and they're not going to just let us go.
Addie.
Zaid whispers, and at first I'm not sure what he's trying to convey. But then he tips his chin up as if telling me to keep it up. Distract them, that's what he wants. Though by the tension lining his muscles and how he's stepping in my direction, he's ready to say fuck them and rush to me. He can see that I'm breaking, and he's caught between comforting me and getting us out alive. I dip my chin in acknowledgement. It's not hard when I'm on the verge of losing it anyway. The tears in my eyes spill over and my lip trembles. I let out a cry, grip my hair in my hands, and pull. He was trying to rape me, I sob.
Whoa, hey, it's okay. We'll get this sorted out.
I let out a shout and thrash my head, and the guards are so taken aback by my outburst that they drop their weapons altogether. Their wide eyes turn to each other and have a silent conversation, one asking, "What the fuck do we do, bro?" and the other responding, "I don't fucking know, she's cracked."
Hey, just relax, all right?
The first guard says, his words the least calming thing I've ever fucking heard. Then he turns to his partner.
Call for backup.
But there's a bullet flying through the second guard's skull before the first can fully finish his demand. In mere seconds, Zaid has whipped out his gun and shot him, the silencer screwed on the end, keeping his crime quiet. The first guard's eyes widen, scrambling to take aim, but a bullet is tearing through his forehead next. His head snaps back, and he tumbles to the ground alongside his partner. Zaid wastes no time. He picks Xavier up and slings him over his shoulder, grabs my hands and pulls me out behind him.
Let's go, baby girl. And when we get on our plane, I'm fucking holding you.
I don't recall if I answer as Zaid tugs me toward the end of the hallway. He mutters under his breath, most likely ordering Jay to do something, but the screaming in my head drowns out his words. My body is moving on pure autopilot. I don't remember how he got us out of there. I don't remember the 3-hour flight home. I don't remember anything at all but the weight of Xavier on top of me, the clang of his buckle ringing in my head. May 31st, 2022. When Xavier would finish with me, he would pet me. Yeah, fucking weird. While he did, though, he would tell me that Zaid was going to fall out of love with me eventually. He said men like Zaid can't stand the thought of another man touching what's theirs. For a while there, I believed him. He wasn't wrong, though, but he also was. He underestimated Zaid's obsession, and I've never been more thankful for that. Jesus, there's something wrong with me. I guess it would be weirder if I was normal at this point, right? Chapter 32. The Diamond. I'm fucking rattled, like an old AC unit on its last leg. We just arrived home. Zaid is in the basement taking care of Xavier, and I'm desperately grasping onto my last shred of sanity. Restlessness gathers in my bones, and I feel like an animal confined within my own cage. Heart pounding, I close my bedroom door behind me and then pace the floor, running my hands through my hair and pulling tight. A pathetic attempt to calm the anxiety.
Don't worry, Diamond. I'll make this nice and slow for you. I want you to feel every inch of me.
No, I don't want to. Tears build in my eyes and I shake my head, attempting to rid myself of that demonic fucking voice. I must have forgotten to lock the damn door because minutes later, Zaid bursts in and slams it shut, a wildfire raging in his eyes.
We need to have a talk, Adeline. I've let you process for over 4 hours now. I need you to talk to me.
Hysteria is consuming me, and what doesn't he get? I don't want to hear his fucking words, nor do I want to give him mine. There's too many of those in my head, and I'm drowning in them. Whirling away, I bolt for my balcony doors. I've no idea what I'm going to do once I get there. Maybe just pitch myself over the rail and end it all. But his arm is curling around my waist and turning me right back around. The second my feet touch the ground, I wiggle out of his hold and turn to face him. Stop it! I snap. Just leave me be, Zaid.
How many times will you run away before you learn that you can't escape me?
He growls, getting in my personal space before I can even take a breath. I take a step back, retreating from his intensity. He doesn't let me go, though, stepping back into me until I'm pressed against the wall. However many times it takes before you realize I don't want to be caught. I snarl, my own anger rising. I'm not even sure what I'm angry at, just mad that he's mad.
Let me feel every inch of this sweet body, Diamond. Fuck, you feel so good. Don't I feel good too, baby? You're drowning, Eddie. Just let me help you.
I narrow my eyes, my mouth thinning into a straight line. I've been doing fine, I argue heatedly, growing defensive purely because he's right. I am drowning, and the scariest part, I don't feel the need to come up for air.
You're not fine, and you know what? Neither am I. I'm not fucking fine at all.
His hand trembles as he brushes a strand of hair behind my ear. The man who's borne so much strength, a pillar of stone despite the ruthless attempts made to knock him down. But the thing is, stone still crumbles. It still breaks and chips and cracks. Even when it's left standing, there will always be missing pieces. Here he stands before me, crumbling as we speak.
I dream of all the ways I will make them suffer.
He whispers.
I dream of their blood on my hands, between my teeth. I will kill every last one of them for you, little mouse, and I will fucking rejoice in it.
I stare up at him, my lip trembling as I force myself to keep the emotions down. At first, I felt everything while trapped in that house. And then I felt nothing. And now I'm left with a pile of broken pieces in my hands where my heart is supposed to be, and I don't know how to mend it without cutting myself deeper. I don't need you, Zaid. I don't need you to do anything for me. He clutches the back of my neck and pulls me in.
See, that's what we're not going to do, Adeline.
He barks, baring his teeth.
We're not going to act like you're so tough that you don't need me anymore, because you want to know something, baby? There are very few men in this world capable of killing me, and I fucking need you. Do you understand me?
I grit my teeth, refusing to answer.
Do you think needing me somehow makes you weak?
Doesn't it? I snap.
No, baby, it makes you strong.
He bends down, putting his face directly into mine.
I may own every breath in your body, but make no mistake, Adeline, you own mine too. I am yours to command, to bend and break, to mold and manipulate. Do you think that makes me weak? Or do you think I'm strong enough to admit that even though my body can physically live on without you, I would never get my fucking soul back?
His hand slides into my hair and fists the strands tightly.
Without you, I will shatter. But with you, I am indestructible.
I suck in a sharp breath and clench my jaw against the different reactions circulating inside me. But the most prominent, the worst one, is to do everything in my power to get this man away from me. My skin bristles beneath his electric touch. Those sparks that used to feel so divine now feel like spikes cutting through my flesh.
Every single man that laid eyes on you while in that house will die slow fucking deaths. I've killed so many already, and it's still not enough.
He pulls me into him, and I tense as he wraps himself around me. So many men have done the same. Sweat soaking my skin as they take my body, their skin sliding against my own. Sliding inside of me, over me, around me. How can he feel like home, feel so safe, yet make me feel like I'm being buried alive? His lips whisper across my cheekbone and panic sparks. My breath falls shorter and my lungs constrict as his other hand reaches up to touch me. I tremble as memories flash through my eyes. Faces. So many faces. Smiling at me as they take from me. Whispering filthy words from their fucking rotten mouths.
Such a pretty girl. You're going to look so good with those lips wrapped around my cock. Fuck, I could come from just touching you. These tits are perfect. How much did you pay for these? I can't control myself. I need you now. I can't control myself. I can't control my...
Let me go, I whisper. He stills, his mouth poised over my cheek. Stop. Stop fucking touching me. I hear him swallow.
That's like asking me to cut out my own fucking heart.
If I can live without one, so can you. I snap. He's solid stone as he processes my words. And all I want to do is fucking break it, make him crumble beneath my fists. Slowly, he pulls away, his mismatched eyes catching hold of mine. What does he see when he looks at me? Does he see the anger churning beneath the surface? Like looking down into the mouth of a volcano to see what the insides look like. Red. So much fucking red. That's what the inside of every human looks like, but I'm no longer full of blood. Only fire.
Do you think of them when I touch you?
He asks, his voice turning hard. That fire rises, building in the pit of my stomach and descending up my chest like lava. Who gave him the right to touch me? Who gives anybody the fucking right to? The trembling increases until my bones are rattling and my teeth chatter. Fire. I move without thinking, my hand wrapping around the gun tucked in the waistband of his jeans and yanking it out. The second he realizes what I've done, he backs away, raising his hands in surrender. I point the gun right at his fucking head, and all I want to do is blow it off. All I want to see is his brain explode beneath the bullet. Because I'm not looking into the face of the man I love. I don't see him at all. All I see is a faceless man trying to take what he wants from me without my permission, and I want him to fucking burn for it. Tears build in my eyes, my vision blurring. The gun is vibrating from how hard my hand trembles. But he's close enough that I'd strike true. Whether the bullet hits his head, his throat, or his chest, I don't care.
Little mouse.
He whispers. I squeeze my eyes shut, forcing the sweet whisper out of my head. I don't want to hear it. I don't want it to mix with the other voices. So many of them.
Fuck, you're so tight. You sure you've been fucked before? Shh. Don't cry, Diamond. It'll only hurt for a second. I can't wait to hear you scream. Let me see that blood, baby. Show me how hard I tear you apart with my cock.
You're no different, right? I bite out, my voice cracking. You've forced yourself on me before, remember? Taken from me. Stolen from me. What makes you so different, huh? My eyes burn from the tears welling up, and within seconds they spill, running down my cheeks.
Do those memories keep you up at night?
He asks, his voice soft.
Do they torment you?
He bares his teeth, his own ire flashing in his eyes.
Do you think about my touch as anything other than a fucking godsend?
I do now! I shout, thrusting the gun at him. I suck in a sharp breath as a sob crawls up my throat. He nods, slowly, the anger dimming in his eyes. Deep down, I know better. I know he's not angry with me. He's angry because he's helpless, hopeless, a goddamn lost cause. Because I will never be the same, and he knows that. But what he doesn't know is what that means for him, for us. The sob escapes, but the rage persists. Slowly, he steps towards me like approaching a scared animal with vicious teeth. His eyes don't stray from mine as he advances, and I'm so close to slipping back into that paralyzing hold he has on me. And then he's right before me again, pressing his forehead into the barrel of the gun.
Does this make you feel powerful?
He murmurs. Another sob breaks free, but I don't lower the weapon.
Does this make you feel alive again?
I scowl, but can't muster the courage to respond. I can't articulate what it makes me feel. I just know that it makes me feel something.
What you've forgotten is that the heart beating inside your chest isn't fucking yours.
He snarls.
It's mine. And if my heart has stopped working, then pull that trigger, little mouse. Kill the rest of me. I'm nothing if I'm not the reason you breathe.
I break and screw my eyes shut against the flood of tears, but it's like putting a piece of paper over a bursting pipe. My face contorts as pure agony consumes me. I don't want to feel anymore. I choke out, barely getting the words out before a gut-wrenching sob bursts past my lips.
Let me... Fuck, Eddie. Just let me fucking hold you.
He bites, his voice breaking. He tears the gun from my grip and tosses it on the bed, and then I'm being swooped up into his arms, weightless as he lifts me up against his solid chest. I open my mouth, and I scream and scream until my voice cracks beneath the pressure. Until I fear my throat will shred from the force. I want to crawl outside of my body so desperately just so I can escape this feeling. No, what I want is that gun back in my hand so I can turn it on myself. One last shout rips out of my throat, this one so full of pain that it brings Zaid to his knees. And finally, the pillar crumbles. The raw sound tapers off, fading into a hoarse, staccato cry. I suck in a deep breath, filling my lungs with oxygen that I don't want, but I'm too lost in my grief to scream like I want to. Zaid's hold tightens painfully, trembles, racking his body as he clings to me. He stuffs his face in my neck and he just listens to his heart breaking inside my chest. The voices in my head amplify, and I'm clawing at my skull, desperate to get them out. But his hands stop me, grabbing onto them and trapping them between our chests.
They are not here anymore.
He whispers unevenly.
Listen to my voice instead, baby.
I shake my head, but he keeps talking anyway. He tells me about the first time he saw me and how unsure of myself I seemed in a room full of people. He says I looked like I was trapped in a glass box and everyone else on the outside was observing me like a zoo animal. Then he talks about the first time I confronted him, how I ran out of my door screaming like a banshee, fire in my eyes and spewing venom from my tongue. He recalls how utterly stunned he was by my courage and how deeply he fell in that single moment.
I've seen the woman who could hardly stand to be in her own skin, and the woman comfortable in a gothic mansion, at home with herself, and the ghosts that haunt her. I loved both versions of you, and I love who you are now. Someone full of both strength and vulnerability. Yet still you carry fire in your heart, and that will never fucking change. They will never take that from you, Adeline.
His words only make me cry harder, but just as he promised, it slowly chases away the voices. An indescribable amount of time passes before I finally calm down enough to string together a sentence. Sometimes I don't know if I'll ever be able to fully tolerate your touch, I confess in a broken whisper.
Are you okay with that?
He counters.
Is that how you want to live your life? Fearing the touch of a man? Of me?
Do I? Part of me wants to retreat in on myself and not let another man lay his hands on me for the rest of my life. I don't want to see the images flash through my mind every time I feel skin slide against mine. But then there's another part of me that rages and lashes against that notion, the same part that allowed me to use his hand and that knife handle as a release. I don't want those men to take more from me than they already have, because if I do, they'll never stop. I'll continue to hand over every piece of myself until there's nothing left but a chalk outline. I don't know how to be okay with it.
Not even with your own hand.
He rasps. He pulls away, gently setting me on the floor.
You took back the power with that knife. Now you can take it back when it comes to physical touch. Let me show you.
My brows furrow as I stare up at him through puffy eyes with confusion. His glistening stare picks apart my face, and I don't need a mirror to know that my skin is flushed red and dried tears mar my cheeks. Reaching over me, he grabs a rose on the nightstand, twirling the stem in his fingers. The thorns slice through his skin and tiny pinpricks of blood sprout. You didn't clip the thorns, I whisper.
I've been protecting you from getting hurt, but sometimes embracing the pain is the only way to overcome it. Take off your dress,
he orders quietly. I blink and open my mouth, but he cuts me off.
Just trust me, Adeline. I'm not going to do anything you don't want me to.
I only stare at him, my heart picking up speed as his spoken expectations linger between us. Swallowing thickly, I reach behind me and blindly unzip my dress, letting the top half drop down my arms. Quickly, I shuffle the material down my body before I can think about what I'm doing, what he's making me do.
Good girl.
He breathes.
Your bra too, Addie. Take it all off.
I shake my head, the remnants of their voices starting to rise again.
Don't think right now, just do as I say.
Biting my lip, I snap my strapless bra off and throw that to the side.
Good girl.
He praises. His eyes stay firmly locked on mine. I wait for them to drop, but they resist.
Such a pretty diamond. Don't think, Adeline.
I pinch my eyes shut, shaking the thoughts from my head. My chest is too tight and panic is starting to set in. Zaid.
Shh.
He hushes. He sits on the ground, leaning against the bed frame and spreading his legs. My muscles tighten until I'm vibrating with the need to get away.
Sit here,
he says firmly, patting the ground between his legs. Hesitating, it takes a few seconds to gain the courage to listen and crawl toward him. I look anywhere but at his face. If I see him, I might back out.
Turn away from me.
There's no stopping the look of relief before I twist around and settle between his thick thighs. I'm still strung tight, but I can breathe a little easier this way.
I'm going to lean you back into me,
he warns. Biting my lip, I nod my head, allowing his hand to come around my body and press on my chest, guiding me to lean back. It feels like trying to bend a metal spoon. It takes effort, but eventually I rest against his chest. His heat soaks into my skin, like the sun shining on your face on the first warm day of spring after a long, cold winter.
That's it, baby, relax.
It takes several swallows before the lump forming in my throat dissipates.
Breathe,
he whispers. I do. I try to, at least. The oxygen stutters out of me like an old engine. With every intake, it feels like I'm breathing in chemicals. Everything burns. Everything is too tight.
Take this,
he directs, holding the rose in his bandaged hand. Tiny trails of blood slide down his wrist, and something about that is calming. Just like when he cut his hand open on the knife to bring me pleasure. Watching someone else bleed doesn't make me feel quite so alone. I take the rose, a thorn immediately pricking my skin, but I hardly feel it. Not with all of my attention on the heat of his body pressing into my back.
Can I touch your thighs, baby?
He asks, his tone hushed and deep. Another nod of my head, and his large hands are slowly spreading my thighs. All of my focus zeroes in on the movement, and the terror is becoming too much. Tingles blossom in the tips of my fingers, and I know pretty soon they'll travel up my limbs until I can no longer feel them.
Relax.
He soothes.
I'm going to ask you a question, and I want you to think about it really hard, okay?
Sucking in a deep breath, I hold it for a few seconds before releasing it, and then I nod, working to calm myself.
What makes you feel powerful, Addie? Was it holding that gun in your hand? Holding it to my head and knowing that you could take my life?
Tears rise, followed by a touch of guilt. I
don't want your apologies or guilt, Adeline. I want you to tell me the truth. What did holding a gun to my head make you feel?
Tightening my lips, I quiet the shame and look past that. What did it make me feel? It made me feel in control. I was holding someone else's life in my hands, and it was my decision and only mine if I pulled that trigger. I held something precious, something irreversible, and it was all mine. It made me feel powerful, I admit.
And what does power feel like?
He asks, his voice deepening as one of his hands trail up to my neck, avoiding my breasts. His touch is sensual, but safe.
Let me feel you here.
His hand slowly slides up the column of my throat, giving me time to reject him. When I say nothing, he clutches the underside of my jaw, forcing my chin up as he pulls my head back against his chest. My gaze locks on the white ceiling as anxiety crawls through my body.
Focus, Adeline. What does power feel like?
I release another shaky breath and speak before I can think too deeply about it. It makes me feel good.
Good.
He murmurs.
I want you to think about that feeling. In your mind, hold that gun to whoever you wish, to me, to any of the men that hurt you, whatever makes you feel good.
I close my eyes, and the first person that comes to mind is Xavier. He's kneeling before me, begging for his life. I can still feel the heavy metal in my hand. But unlike just minutes before, my hand is perfectly still. No violent tremors rack my body as I hold Xavier's life in my hands. I press the gun to his head, relishing in the pleas spilling from his lips, and I pull that fucking trigger.
Now feel between your legs.
Zaid whispers, sensing how my breath has escalated for an entirely different reason. Slowly, my hand reaches down, swiping between my legs. Moisture gathers on my fingers, and I'm surprised enough by the revelation that I completely forget about everything else. For just a moment, I bask in the fact that I'm aroused. My breath falters and shame filters in, but Zaid senses that too. With my throat still seized in his hand, he turns his head until his lips brush against the shell of my ear. Warm breath skates across the side of my face as he whispers roughly,
Do you know how hard my cock gets when I think about all the ways I'm going to slowly torture the men that hurt you?
I open my mouth, but no sound escapes. They evaporate on my tongue when Zaid rolls his hips into my back, the evidence of his words digging into my lower spine. It should repulse me, but it doesn't. And I clutch a hold of that feeling while it's there. I don't care if it's fucked up. It feels so much better than the constant agony. I close my mouth and nod, acquiescing to the thoughts as the shame recedes.
I'm going to touch your hand now.
He whispers. He keeps my throat in his grip while his free hand reaches up and wraps around mine, the rose still clenched in my fist. He squeezes tight, forcing the sharp thorns to spear my hand. I inhale sharply, hissing between my teeth before gritting them against the pain. And then he guides our hands down until the soft petals brush against my pussy. My eyes shudder as he glides the petals up and down, coating the rose in my arousal. I feel the blood rising to my cheeks as he lifts it again and presents the dripping flower to me. Zaid. Blood trails down my arm as he releases my throat to grab my other hand and bring it to the rose, guiding my fingers across the petals.
Do you feel how soft and wet these petals are?
He whispers, licking my lips. I nod my head slowly.
This is what I feel every time I'm inside you. Fuck. You feel like hold on to that feeling of power, baby. Don't let go of it.
I've tensed up again, my muscles strung tight. Shuddering, I shove out the intrusive voice and replace it with the image of pointing a gun to their head. Steady and calmly as I pull the trigger. I relax as he pushes my middle and ring fingers into the center of the rose, just like he would if it were my pussy. The pain needling throughout my hands fades as a deep-seated pleasure takes hold. For the first time in so long, I feel sensuality and eroticism as I continue to push my fingers in and out of the rose, Zaid's own fingers held over mine. I feel the pressure building in my core, desperate for some type of release. Different faces flash through my mind like a movie reel, all of them meeting the same demise. The pressure between my legs grows and grows until I'm sure just one touch of my fingers would send me over the edge. Zaid, I plead, though I don't know what I'm asking for.
Tell me what you need,
he says, continuing our movements with the rose. Touch me.
Don't stop feeling this, Rose,
he orders softly. I nod, my stomach clenching when he reaches between my legs. The softest brush of his fingers nearly makes my eyes cross. I plunge in and out of the rose as his middle finger presses into my clit and starts circling the swollen bud. My back arches and I can't stop the high-pitched moan that escapes as raw bliss rolls through me. I force myself to feel Zaid, to feel that a man is touching me, making me feel good, and that I'm enjoying every second of it. And then I push those other men from my mind and think only of the one wrapped around me. I don't want to come with the images of the depraved monsters that stole from me, even if I'm blowing their heads off. I only want to see the man that's given me everything. A beast who has bent my will to succumb to him, yet has shown me the true meaning of love and devotion. Zaid, I mewl as the orgasm crests. I hear him hiss through his teeth as he circles my clit faster. He still has his other hand wrapped around mine, the stem clenched in my grip. He flexes his fist, forcing the sharp thorns deeper into my flesh. The pain swirls with the heady pleasure and a hoarse shout rings out. Rivulets of blood continue to trail down my arm, dripping off my elbow and onto my stomach. I look down, watching the streams of red aim towards where Zaid touches me. My mouth parts, the euphoria spiking as I watch him. His hand is fucking massive, with long fingers, thick veins laced throughout, seeming to pulse as he rubs my clit. It's so erotic that I can't hold on any longer. I cry out as I finally let go, the orgasm crashing into me so hard that I nearly come off the floor from the power of it. Zaid growls, cupping my pussy as I ride the waves, my hips rolling against his hand while his name fills the air around us. I feel him tensing beneath me, but I'm too lost to care. I'm too desperate for this feeling to never end. We both drop the rose simultaneously, and I don't stop to consider what I'm doing when I reach back, grab a hold of Zaid's face with both hands, and guide his lips down onto mine. A deep rumble vibrates through his chest, and he once more seizes the underside of my jaw, granting us both a better angle as he devours me. His tongue lashes against my own, tasting me until my lips are bruised and raw, and the orgasm has long since faded. Yet, the bliss remains. For the first time in months, those wicked men didn't plague my thoughts. I didn't hear their voices, their laughter, and their cruel jokes, and my body feels so much lighter because of it. Finally, he pulls away, and all I can do is stare up at him in wonder. The person responsible for chasing away the monsters in my head. They'll come back, but Zaid isn't going anywhere either. Thank you, I whisper. He closes his eyes and brushes his lips against mine softly.
You'll always be safe with me, little mouse, always.
Feeling invigorated, I twist in his arms and tear at his blazer, the buttons flying as his heated eyes lift to meet mine. His tongue slowly swiping across his bottom lip. Red is smeared across his cheek from my bloody hand, and the sight has my eyes nearly rolling. He looks so goddamn savage, and I think my ovaries are exploding. He's going to get me pregnant just from this image alone.
You sure you want to go there?
He asks, his voice dripping with sin. It's what I want, I say softly, albeit shakily. He lifts up and the material slides down his arms. Then I gather his button-up shirt until his abs are exposed, along with the dark tattoos inked into his flesh. Flattening my hands on his hard stomach, blood smearing across his skin, I push it farther up, but he stops me.
Don't push yourself too hard. This wasn't about me.
When he goes to lean forward, I plant my hand on his chest and push him back firmly, his mismatched eyes round at the edges in surprise. Let me try, Zaid. I'm not going to fuck you yet. I just want to touch you.
All right. Well, that has been chapters 31 and 32. And boy, was it a spicy episode filled with action, adventure, and a little spiciness at the end. But hopefully you guys enjoyed today's show. Thank you guys so much for listening and watching. I will see you tomorrow if you are a Patreon member. If you're not, I will see you on Sunday. Love you guys all, and peace.